Okay, well, Auntie Cecilia, when I was young, Auntie Cecilia used to take care of me. She was like my nurse. She would bathe me, she would feed me, she would do everything for me. And so I loved Auntie Cecilia. She was my second mother. And I was always with Tutu baby at Tutu's house. So when she helped bathe, I don't know. I just remember I was so unhappy and I was crying and crying. I said, why are they taking my auntie? My auntie takes care of me. Tutu said, I cried for almost a year because they took Auntie Cecilia and brought her to Hōnaunau and put her in Grandma. So that's what I wanted for you to share, that, you know, Auntie Cecilia, even though she had her disability, took care of me when she was up. And she was, even Tutu said she was a very good nurse. So my heart goes to Auntie Cecilia every time I hear about her.
So what brought her back home with Grandma?
Well, I guess they found, you know, that she was, I don't know why they took her in the first place, but maybe somebody said something that they thought it was not very good for her to be around, you know, around people or whatever, but she never did anything to me. So that's why even Tutu was kind of unhappy. I know that she took Auntie Cecilia, but I guess I don't know what her difficulty was. But, they brought her down. I know not that she had disability speaking, because she did speak, but I was wondering if they thought that she may be belligerent or, you know, that kind of thing. To tell you the truth, I still don't know what the diagnosis was for her to be put into Grandma.
Yeah, because I've always known her to be with Grandma, when
Right.
you know. So
Yeah, because she came home, and then Tutu was happy that she was home, of course, because she had to come back again. But I guess Auntie Cecilia, they figured, may have rehabilitated or was safe to be around people. I don't know. But when she came home, I was already, you know, grown. So, but every chance I got, I would go and give Auntie Cecilia a hug and give her a hug, because Tutu used to say, she took care of you when you were small.
yeah, I've known her to when, I don't know if I was maybe 5th grade or something, but every day I come home from school and then me and my mom would go and go check on Grandma and Auntie Cecilia. But she would always be so happy for tell me about what she learned at Kona Craft, because she would go to Kona Craft every day. So she learned how to cook rice. So she showed me, you know, she cooked rice, and then she said she made her and Grandma dinner, and then she made chicken noodle soup, you know, just open up the can and stuff, yeah. And then, you know, I was telling her how you work the washing machine so she could wash the clothes. But yeah, she was always nice like that.
Yeah.
So.
She, you know, she was receptive to doing things.
Yeah.
So I don't know why, you know, that they did what they did, because she could learn if she did that. You know what I mean?
Just the basics, yeah, to help with Grandma.
My ohana. This is my maua stick. I got this stick when I went over to the Big Island when I was doing kupuna at the schools, and we went on a huaka'i. And one of the prizes that I won on the bus was this maua stick. And our tutu lady maua was a person that was quite resilient, strong, and could overcome all kinds of challenges. just like this stick shows, the ranger was explaining that all these little knobs and different protrusions that are on the stick were because of infestation trying to kill the wood, or insects trying to get in and burrow and whatever. They would try to do that, and it would just grow over the areas that were trying to cause destruction of the wood. So the wood maua also represents our tutu lady with her strong abilities as an individual, a resilient individual, and a one that always reached for the sky. So this is, the wood was called maua, so it had tutu's characteristics. And I believe when her name was given to her, that she did become the characteristics of this wood. Because I lived with Tutu more than I lived with my mama. Tutu took care of me, Tutu fed me, Tutu took care of me when I was supposedly ill, or I had a nervous breakdown, as they say, but Tutu didn't believe that, and so she got someone from the church that worked with the bishop out here in Honolulu to come and tell Father that she was going to be helping me out. But Tutu was a very good person, and you could be proud that we're her descendants. Tutu also was a very good artisan. She did lauhala weaving, and she was considered a master in her trade. She made hats and baskets and mats and fans, all kinds of little different things that you could purchase from the store and use for yourself. And when my husband and I went to church one day, when we were in church, Tutu grabbed a string out, and in the middle of Father's homily, she put the string on Sai's head, and I didn't know. I looked at Tutu, she just made her turn around. So she got the measurement, I guess, took it home, and then weaved a papale for my husband, which I still have after, we've been married 54 years. So this is about 50 years old, this hat. And I also have a couple of papales that she made for me that are even before I met my husband. I guess when maybe I was 18 years old, 19 years old. So Tutu would also sell her wares that she made to Machado store. Is there still a Machado store?
No.
What has become of the building? Is somebody
Nothing.
else in there? Nothing?
Yeah.
That's too bad. That was a good place where a lot of the people would take their things up to, that Mrs. Machado would sell. But she always preferred Grandma's lauhala stuff. She always preferred Grandma's things.
She also did lace and went up the church.
Yes, and yes, she did. And she would go to church every morning. Sometimes we'd go get ready to get on the bus to go to school, and I said, Tutu, can I go to church with you? No, because you're going to miss the bus to go to school. So I couldn't go to Mass with her in the morning. But she went every morning, she and Tutu Ula. Tutu Ula down the road.
You know, when we have so.
Kahea goes.
Yeah.
E kahaku, lawi ka eha, mai ka, whatever it is, the limb, the leg, whatever, of the person. lawe ka eha, lawe ka pehu, lawe ka hui, lawe ka ake ake, lawe ka mea pau, a kiloi. And repeat that 3 times. And then repeat it again later if they need it. But for me, it worked with my kids. It worked. They got injured, whatever, I'd always kahea. And as a matter of fact, cousin Victor's daughter, Lehua, when she was young and over in Hōnaunau, we were down at the beach, I remember, and I don't know what happened, but she hurt herself, I think, and then she had an injury and was not very happy, crying until Keli'i came to me and said, cousin, my baby hurt her, can you kahea for me? So I did that. 10 minutes later, like nothing, up and about doing it. So cousin said, thanks, cousin. But you think she was dying when I said, well, they think, but the idea is, the thought is to get the mindset that they're okay. And the way to do that is, to say the prayers. If they did have some injury, that we're asking for kokua from our ancestors to help our keipis. If they needed it, they would get it. Most of the time, I think it was psychological, but that was me. That's my thought. But who knows? It worked. So,
but where did that prayer come from? Was it just
that prayer Tutu shared with me? So my mama got that from Tutu. So it probably came from the
our family? Yeah. And what was the translation of it?
Because ikahaku, God. Lawe ka eha, lawe take away the pain or the hurt. Lawe ka eha, lawe ka pehu, the swelling. Lawe ka ake ake, that needle kind of feelings, and all the different things that you experience on your, whatever they were, to take them and take them away from the body. Kiloi, take it away. Yeah, so even my grandson Joseph, I taught that to Joseph, and when he went to the mainland, and he was in school, grade school at Our Lady Star of the Sea in Bremerton, his friend fell down and was crying on the pavement in the school run. My friend was crying, so Joseph went to him, and Joseph went kahea. He automatically did. He says, this is what my tutu does for me. So it'll make you feel better, tells us. So he did it. He said, Tola, and he said the boy's name, what you're supposed to say, what it is, and to lawe ka eha, lawe ka pehu, lawe ka hui, lawe ka ake ake, lawe ka mea, all the different things. Throw it away, right? So he said it, and he said it 3 times, and then he stopped, and then the boy was still crying, but then he slowly stopped, and then the teacher heard him doing that, and she didn't know what he was saying, but the way she saw Joseph doing it was like she knew that he was praying, but she didn't understand what he was saying because he was saying it in Hawaiian. So when Catherine came to pick him up from school, the teacher came over and says, Catherine, I have to share something with you. Joseph, well, I don't know I forgot the name of the friends, but she says, Joseph helped his friend in the yard today. He was so very kind and very gentle and very thoughtful with his friend. And he was saying something, but he was saying, I didn't understand what he was saying. And so Joseph had started to come by because he saw the mother, so he said, the teacher said, Joseph, when your friend was not feeling well today and fell in the yard, and He looked like he was hurt because he had scraped and I guess bared the skin, right? So he says, "Oh yeah, Mom, I just went kahea." So the teacher says, she says, "Oh, he learned from his Hawaiian grandmother a prayer to say. They all say it when someone is hurt or." And she starts to explain the different things about it. And so it's always worked with my kids when they were growing up, and it's always worked when we were growing up ourselves. So
the cloud reading. You want to share the story of when you were sick?
Yeah. Are we ready? Yeah.
Ready? Yeah.
When I was going to school, I guess Tutu decided that it was time for me to branch out and learn more about the world. So she and Father Wilcox, I guess it was at that time, decided that I was going to go to school over in Hilo at St. Joseph's. And of course I said, oh, I didn't want to go because I wasn't going to be home with Tutu or any other family, and I'd be missing out on all the things that I like to do. Free spirit me, do whatever I want. But so anyway, I went to school over in Hilo, and one day when I was there in school, I stayed with the family and helped them with they had 5 kids, I think. So I helped the mother of the house take care of the children, help with the cleaning up, feeding everybody and cleaning up and that kind of thing. So one day I wasn't feeling too good, and I guess, I don't know if I got an insect bite or whatever, or got bit by a scorpion or whatever, but I ended up running a temperature and was in the room sleeping. So Tutu Maua, taking care of her mo'opuna again, calls up to the lady and says, how is my mo'opuna doing? And of course Mrs. Herbst goes, mo'opuna. She says, my granddaughter. This is Lehua's granddaughter. And so she says, oh, she's fine. She's in the room. She says, no, she's not fine. Can you go check her, please? She's not doing too well. Oh, but she was up earlier and she was, please go check on her. So Mrs. Herbst came into the room and found that I was running a temperature because she called and knocked on the door and I didn't answer. So she opened the door and found me lying in bed. I guess I must have been delirious. So she wiped me down with some cool cloth, and Mrs. Herbst was also a nurse, so she gave me some aspirins or whatever, and had called up for the doctor to come. But I guess I had an insect bite. I don't know what kind of insect it was, but I had a reaction. And so Tutu had called the lady, and that's how they found that I was not feeling too good. So even though I was away from her, she was still with me. Yeah. And so again, my Tutu, she said what she had done was she was out in front and she looked up at the clouds and saw in the clouds that I needed some help. Now I tried to find out what she saw in the clouds, what kind of formation or whatever, but she just said she had seen it in the clouds that I needed some assistance. But I don't remember her doing that with anybody else. But who knows, maybe she just called somebody themselves, right? But Tutu was able to do that.